friends, and welcome to another episode of your Bish Therapist podcast. I am your host, Melissa Reich, your Bish Therapist. And today, I am so excited for the kiki that we are about to have. You all have no idea. I've been teasing this for weeks. Today, I have two very special guests. First, you will recognize her sweet, darling voice from when we did our surreal life recaps, which basically I don't think anyone watched but us. And you recognize her from Vanderpod Recaps. Please welcome Lyndsay Lime. Hi, Lyndsay.
Hello. That's so funny that you said something about sweet voice, because I do apologize, people. I have been battling something in my household for a few weeks now, and my voice is not top tier, but we are here. And so I appreciate you saying that, because I'm very self-conscious about my voice right now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. And it still sounds sweet and lovely. And children are the spawn of germs. And I'm sorry that you have a carrier monkey in your home.
Oh my gosh, they really are. And yes, we were the only two people to watch the last season of The Surreal Life.
Oh, literally. You and I kept it alive.
I'd do it again. I'd do it again.
Was Kim on that one?
Yeah,
Kim
she was.
Yes.
And Chet Hanks.
Oh my God, that's where they hooked up.
Yes.
Well, okay. And the other voice you're hearing,
Chet Hanks joke.
The other voice you're hearing is, so Lyndsay and Brady have been BFF for so long, and Lyndsay and Brady, last name Wolsiffer, if you want to check him out on IG, is they now have teamed up to form Recap Rodeo. So welcome, Brady. So glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course.
I already had some talks with my Bish therapist today. I had my first therapy appointment. So this is my second Zoom call with a Bish therapist today.
Oh, is it too much therapy, Brady? Well, this should be fun.
The limit does not exist for that. The limit does not exist.
Mean Girls reference for the freaking win. Yes. This is going to, listen, this is what it's going to be, y'all. It's going to be lots of talking and tangents, but we're going to have a good time. And I was on your show, it feels like a couple weeks ago, but maybe it was a little bit longer than that. But we just had so much fun.
We did. We laughed a lot. We had a big kiki. People loved that episode because we all fit very well with our vibe. I feel like we're losing a little bit in the podcast world talking about reality shows, like people being honest about like how they're really feeling with it, but also trying to see multiple sides of things, but also having fun with it too. Like even like with you, like I love your perspective of looking at all the sides and from like a therapist view, but also you when you get sassy, it's my favorite.
It happens so frequently anymore.
It's so good. It's my favorite.
So good.
Yeah. You were on the pod and it was so good. It was so fun. And you're my sister's new favorite podcaster. So congratulations on taking it from me.
After I went on your podcast, Brady literally told me that. And I was like, I'm honored, but also I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what to say to that. That's
it's okay.
lovely.
I don't speak to her anymore now.
Oh, no.
I'm joking.
I've caused a rift.
Familial rifts.
Oh my God. Is this Jersey? Am I coming in between? Is podcast drama now?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Melissa and Teresa.
Get some sprinkle cookies stat.
Well, honestly, I feel like this is a great transition because Jersey reminds me of Beverly Hills now. I feel like Beverly Hills has completely jumped the shark for me. So we're going to talk, for everyone listening today, watching on Patreon and YouTube, we're going to talk Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because I know you all have some thoughts on that. We're also going to talk Real Housewives of Atlanta because I feel like no one cares about it and it's such a good show and I'm so irritated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
In this last episode, we got to talk about things because Bravo. So I don't understand why people aren't talking about Atlanta, but.
Same. So listen, we're here to talk about it because that's what we're going to do. And then, so Brady and Lyndsay, if you have not listened to their podcast, Recap Rodeo, go over and listen to it now. What you two have is this structure that I love where you talk about like a Bravo show and then like a non-Bravo show. So, and you choose like a bestie and a frenemy and all of that. And so we're going to follow your structure today because I just think it's so smart and it's really, it's fun. So the show that I chose when I was on yours was Teen Mom.
Yes.
And that's also what we're going to talk about here, too, which I know people are like, if they don't say Teen Mom, I'm going to flip right now because my peeps, they love Teen Mom. Love it.
They have great taste.
I
have great taste.
And I could talk about Teen Mom for hours because there's so much there.
I could. Teen Mom, though, is one that I'm scared to talk about because I fear that my opinions are a little too judgmental sometimes.
It's hard. Also,
because I want to balance being like, their parents doing their best, and then it's also like
Amber.
Stop! Right off the bat.
Look, Amber's from Indiana. We're also from Indiana.
We are.
Hoosiers giving it to Hoosiers. We're allowed to, people.
We get a pass with anyone from Indiana. We get to terrorize.
We can say whatever we want to them.
Well, wait. So, quick tangent. Did you both ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Okay, so I know Pawnee, Indiana is not a real place.
No.
But one of the things that I love is like that's one of my comfort shows. And I remember the episode where they're doing like a group art experiment, and Redo had like all the people in the first supper who were like from Indiana, and it turned out it was like Larry Bird's mom.
Did they put Michael Jackson in there?
I said we have Michael Jackson from Gary.
Yes. He did. Michael Jackson was in there.
Good. Well, not good.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hate Michael Jackson. Not R.I.P. Burn. Anyway.
No, listen.
Has anyone seen the documentary?
Hello?
Has anyone seen the documentary?
I full agree. I cannot with anyone who's like, oh no, Michael is still. No, honey. Michael was a predator. Okay. So, I mean, listen, we're coming in real hot. But this is what you get when you have Recap Rodeo.
Michael's from Indiana. We can say it.
Yes, again, we get a pass. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Atlanta because I feel like I'm so irritated with Beverly Hills. I feel like we don't need to spend a ton of time on it. And Atlanta is really deserving of more attention than it's getting. So I think let us start with Atlanta. For everyone listening, if you haven't been watching Atlanta, you are for sure missing out. The cast this season is Britt, Edie, Portia, Kelly, Shamia, Angela Oakley, Kenya's ghost.
Literally.
She's pretty present for a ghost, if I'm being honest.
Well, she's after next season or after next week. I don't think she gonna be. I think that's when she gets the chop. But I call her Kenya's ghost every time because it's like you're there, but you're not. It's so weird. And then, of course, we have Drew. Why? Just why, Drew? And, of course, Cynthia Bailey, who I don't know if you two know this. Cynthia is my #1 all-time favorite housewife.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
That makes sense. She's fantastic.
She is just the perfect epitome of beauty and kindness and humanity and empathy, but also shade. Like, she can be as shady as the rest of them, but in this way that's just like, oh, Cynthia, so sweet. You know, she's just so cute.
She was the one in the second episode, me and Brady were dying because Kenya was telling Drew she's like looked at as the whore when it comes to Dennis, and Cynthia in her talking head says, not whore.
A whore?
Hoe is a compliment, but a whore.
A whore.
I fell down. I was laughing so hard at that.
She's so good. She brings a lightness. Like she's just a great housewife. She really is.
And honestly, I feel like if we had more Cynthias, we'd have more successful Housewives franchises. I mean, but I don't think there's a whole lot of emotionally mature, wonderful people like dying to be on reality TV. So, you know, I think that's kind of the prob. But also, so after Kenya's ghost gets banished forever, they bring Phaedra back, which it's like, okay, does anybody remember why Phaedra was gone?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember, Brady? Do you remember why Phaedra was gone?
Specifically, I don't actually think. Was it crimes?
No, it was her saying. Well, Melissa will explain it better. No, you explain it better.
So, okay. This was one of the rare years where they had a 4-part Atlanta reunion. And I know this because each of the 4 parts are burned into my brain. Like, I know the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion better than I know the 10 Commandments. I could like recite, and the long and short of it is that Phaedra told Portia that Candy and her husband Todd wanted to drug and sexually assault her.
Whew.
Sorry, all I needed was the first word of that to completely remember.
You probably blocked it out.
Then got busted when Portia, because like Candy was like, "Where'd you hear it? Where'd you hear it? Where'd you hear it?" And then Portia was like, "Well, I'm going to leave this to Phaedra," which is who we heard it from, and everyone was like, "Oh, no!" It was truly one of the most insane moments ever on one of these franchises.
Was that the origin of them all sitting around the table being like, "Who said that? Who said that?"
So, yeah, no, not specifically, but that did involve Portia saying who said that about something that she definitely did. So, yeah.
Who said that? You, Portia.
You
babe.
bitch.
That's so funny.
Portia is the answer to that question. So, what is odd to me, just going in, like, out of the gate, is that you're going to have someone violate an HR policy. So essentially, let's talk about what Kenya did to get her fired. And we're going to see this next week, is that one of her most iconic, shadiest moments was her Kenya Moore hair care drumline at, what's her name? At Marlowe's event. Yes. It was Marlowe's event. And it was like, this is how my brain thinks in just like shady Bravo references. So now whenever I'm really mad at someone, I think like I hear the drum line and I'm like, Kenya Moore hair care. Kenya Moore hair care. Right. Yeah. So, but the irony is that this moment at her own hair salon, she sourced, printed, downloaded and printed revenge porn images of Britt Eady, who listen, we're going to talk because it sounds like Britt is real problematic, and she might have some real problems, y'all. So, but this is a lot of background. So tell me, like, what have you all been thinking about Atlanta? You know, just what do you think?
You want to go first?
I'll go first. Mine's pretty quick. I would like for Shamia to continue being the star she is. I want Portia to stop being so threatened by it. Portia at that the bank dinner just came off real haterish. And that's not Portia. Portia's a star. She doesn't need to be acting like that. Yeah. Need her to find some confidence in herself with that. I need
oh no.
Okay. I don't love what has happened. I don't love what Kenya did, but especially given what you just brought up with Phaedra and her past, where is the line for these women? Right. Where does it go from shade to criminal? And who is the arbiter of those decisions, right? Like, it doesn't seem like there's anything steady making those choices. Like, that's what's frustrating about that kind of stuff to me, is like, Kenya's kind of giving this season, and I'm kind of enjoying her so far more than any other time I've really seen her on this show. It's possible because we're not getting like her fake like home life storylines this time around because they're not showing it, but I don't know. It is weird. I don't know. I wish there was more specifics around like the rules of engagement for them.
So, and you know, Lyndsay, I want to hear your thoughts, but so I'll jump in with one of the things that I read, because of course I did a deep dive into this because I can't just let anything go. And I was like, what is going on that they're bringing Phaedra back, but Kenya's getting fired? Like, what's
Phaedra
the
has
rule?
Clout right now. Phaedra's famous right now from Traitors.
Yeah,
well,
that's the thing. You have to be more popular than the bad things you do to get away with it.
I know, but do you know Phaedra literally just crashed and burned all of her Married to Medicine relationships and left the show because she could not get along with anybody? Lyndsay, what are your thoughts about all of this Atlanta Michigas?
So I am also on the Shamia, I love you. And I just have to say this, and I will say this with my full chest. Her song, Never Had,
So good.
it is good.
It
When
sounded
I
really good.
heard a clip of it, I said, now hang on, I need to go listen to this. I went to Apple Music, and it's good. Like, I'm not even just saying
I already
that.
purchased it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you better support. You better give the doll some money.
Love to make fun of the housewives' music, but it was good. And not Portia being like, is that you? Who is that? Is that you?
That's what I was talking about when she was being such a hater. It's like, girl, this doesn't look good for you. Because, like, the song is good. We're not here. And for her to say, I thought it was Drew.
Girl.
That is such
to
an
compliment
insult.
Drew's music is insane.
Dude, insane. Drew was really giving me Melissa Gorga circa like On Display, like 05, whenever it was. I'm like, I can't with Drew, but Shamia has a voice of a literal angel. She is a literal angel. She is hilarious, so sassy, shade assassin, but also just like a good person. And I'm like, why is this the first time Shamia's had a peach? What has production been doing with our Shamia? Why has she not been there before? I want to know.
I know.
She's been present. She's been around. She's been in the peripheral, but...
And her story, like, she's been so open about with her surrogate and then her daughter. And then also, I'm finding myself surprised because I wasn't, and I'm still not quite sure about her personality, but her story, Kelly, I am like, first of all, y'all, and trigger warning for this part, just because her ex-husband is very, sounds like it was a very domestic abuse situation. And for a man in a courtroom, y'all, in a courtroom where there is a judge and people in that courtroom said that he was going to kill her.
Yep.
Where in front of people, imagine what happened behind closed doors. Imagine
that. Because if this is what this man is willing to do in front of court-appointed officials, what is he willing to do when no one's watching? I'm telling you, that is the type of person who I believe could easily be murderous. Easily. Yeah. And so you're right. I think Kelly's, her personality gives question mark, right? It's like, you could be great or really awful, and we're trying to decide which, but my personal feeling is that I like Kelly and Britt and Britt's husband and Angela Oakley's husband. They give me the ick to no end.
Yes.
Lyndsay's like nodding them.
I'm going to stand up for Britt's husband. Although now, okay, but after last episode, well, here's what I do like about him. He seems weird and socially awkward. And I find that so charming for some reason. I don't know why.
But the calling at the restaurant
calling at the restaurant was crazy.
Yeah, that was a red flag.
Him being at the restaurant is crazy. I don't really like a husband who's always around. I think that's a sign of that's a big red flag to me. A husband who's omnipresent. But I did love when she's going off in the parking lot about her guns that she's got and now she's going to shoot Kenya. He was like, "Is your mic on?" He was on it. He said, "Girl, you need that mic off." So
well,
that is
do you
a good
know
husband.
why? Because I think he has a criminal mindset. That's why. He's not a good husband. He's like understands
criminals can be good husbands too.
Who? Where?
As long as the crime isn't against the wife.
Scott Peterson? Who? Who are we talking about?
I don't know anything about Scott Peterson. I just know he's bad.
He's bad.
I just know Sandoval compared himself to him, and that's not good.
My God. He did. No, he said other people were comparing. He's like, I'm Scott Peterson.
The lisp. You got the lisp, and that's crazy.
That's so good.
Scott Peterson.
Oh my God.
But to your point, Portia is being such a hater, and it's so annoying because it's like Shamia is supposed to be your good girlfriend. Where is that? It's like not only was she 2 hours late to this woman's party, Shamia's getting her car that costs more than my entire life. And Portia is just like dancing around in the shot. And you could tell Shamia was like, "Girl, get off my jock. Like, go away." So what do you think? I mean, I have my theories about like what that's about with Portia, but I don't know. What do you think that's about?
Yeah.
I think Portia thought this season was going to be the Portia show.
She did, yeah.
And I think Portia's quickly realizing that she's going to have to share that spotlight. And I think that does something to her that she hasn't quite gotten to the bottom of yet. And I'm really hoping she does, though, because when Portia is light, when Portia comes in with the light, she is the funniest bitch on the planet. She really is. And so I could just imagine Portia in a good place with Shamia in a good place. Them together, I would watch all day long.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be howling. It's going to be great.
Right. And I think that to that point, and I think that's exactly what it is, that Portia has trouble if she's not the center of attention. But what frustrates me, and speaking of making fun of Sandoval, is that to me, what I would have loved is if these two women could come together and share the spotlight and walk through this new era of their life together. Instead, Portia's like, well, my life fell apart and now I'm just a regular person and I have no husband and I'm, making stuff work with my hot dog dentist baby daddy. Like, what do I have going on? And I just think, to your point, Brady, it's so sad because Portia is the greatest person, the greatest housewife ever when she is light and happy and like in her power.
Yeah. In her power is a really great way to put that because she has it. It is there. She's just not tapped into it at this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Portia's interesting this season too, because obviously like the girl can't film in her house.
Yeah, there's a lot of tough stuff going on.
There is,
too.
I have to wonder, I think Portia, you're better than this whole what you're trying to do with Shamia. But I also know like she is going through it right now. But because it's just funny every time they have to be in a restaurant. They have to be, which Housewives does that anyway. But to not be able to film at your house and like navigating all of that, I think that is, not something I'd want to do.
Yeah, and listen, what I appreciate about you, Lyndsay, is always that you do bring that perspective that, you're right. Portia is going through it. And let's face it, Portia, she's a tough person, so she's not always going to let us know when she's going through it.
Yeah.
And I think she just acts out a little bit because she's struggling to, manage that herself. Like, whereas if she could have just be open and say, you know what, I'm so frustrated and unhappy, but she's still trying to maintain this like facade. And I think that is where the disconnect's coming from me because it's like, girl, that's not you. You're too fab for this.
And what would have been nice to see from Portia when she was being shady about the whole is that you singing, if in her talking head or at the dinner, she was like, yeah, girl, I'm kind of like coming for you. Because Shamia, what she did, she even said, she was like, you know what? I've been coming for Angela a bit much. I wouldn't have even invited me to this dinner. And so, you know what I mean? Like Shamia is able to, give it, but also take it and then also recognize, you know what? I might have done too much for this. Portia is not so much in that mindset right now. She was very much like, no, I really thought it was Drew singing it. No, you didn't.
You know what I thought was actually crazy of Shamia though? She walked into that dinner to apologize to Angela with a plastic bottle of olive oil. Bitch, you live in a $9 million house. Get the Grazi brand. What's that brand that we see all the time with the neon green lid and the dark green like the get the fancy shit, Shamia. You're driving a Rolls Royce for fuck's sake.
And she Instacarted
Great value brand.
And she Instacarted. So that was like $30 for one thing of olive oil.
Spend $60 and get the nice bottle for Angela. She deserves it. You said her nose looked bad.
Oh my God. She kept making Jackson comments.
What? I will say, I did learn. That was kind of educational, that little fight, because that was
the 90s nose reference.
The 90s nose thing. I had no idea.
I had explained that to Mandy too, because she's like, I don't understand, and I'm like, well, in the 90s there was a style of if you got your rhinoplasty, if you got your nose done, it was very pinched and very, to the point where some of these ladies, you can tell it impacts their voice. Their nose is so pinched, it impacts their voice. But in the 90s, Chuck D, Heavy D, 90s stuff got a huge shout out, which again, I love that because, I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, and I just thought that was such a great reference. But yeah, she got her nose done in the 90s, and it was like, you can tell, it's overly pinched. But I feel that, Shamia, she said she was going to let it go, and then she made another joke about it in a confessional, and then like joked about asking production to take it out. And I just thought, queen.
Funny.
She's so
funny.
No, I love her. She's so funny, and also her personal story. I'm excited for more Shamia.
Yeah.
Same. I think she is the glue that holds this group together. I understand Portia's sad that she thought it would be her and it isn't. I think Shamia has something that Portia doesn't have, which is when this is just something that I notice as I'm healing. I want to get your thoughts on it, is that you can just tell when people are comfortable in their skin and they can just be authentically who they are, good, bad, or ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that Shamia has that real authenticity piece to her, where it's also, she's not, she doesn't seem like an entitled jerk like a lot of these housewives either. It's like she's humble, but also like rich as hell. And, like she sees all sides of things. I'm not explaining this well, but do you know what I mean?
No,
no,
you
you
are.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And I think it's a security thing. You can tell that this is a secure woman. She has her, and, I would say that there's so many factors that fall into that. She is lucky enough to be financially secure. She's lucky enough that she doesn't really have to worry too much about those external, she doesn't really have to worry about survival.
Right.
And I think that's allowed her a certain sense of freedom. But what she's done that's different than other rich people is she's also managed to be kind and maintain a sense of kindness, and not, and you said that too, she doesn't come off entitled either, which I think is rare.
No, and again, she gave us the advice of, ladies, first date, shit in that house.
Shit in that man.
Destroy that man's bathroom.
And can I tell you, can I be honest? That was the best advice I've ever heard from a housewife. And you know why? Is because every time these housewives try to pretend that they wake up looking flawlessly refreshed, or like they don't have, bowel movements, it's like, if you date someone who thinks you don't have a belly button or a butthole, they're
if we're dating and you don't know about my butthole, we have a problem.
Right. Well, for sure, Brady. Speak on that. Problem, honey. Problem. Okay. But it's like, you have to be with someone who loves you for you. And I just feel like, it's a part of being a woman is like, you still have to take a shit. So welcome to it.
I brought up the finances being a factor for her security, but it seems like even when she started dating this rich man, she had that sense of security, because there is something very secure in yourself about shitting in a man's house.
Yes.
You know what I mean, though?
Such a good point. Yes.
So maybe that's just who she is.
I think it's just who she is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck.
And she's so...
Damn, Brady.
I pulled out of the shit deck of cards for life on this one. If that's Shamia just has it.
Right? I guess
I can't shit at anybody's house.
But for Shamia, I'll try for you, girl.
Shamia, you've encouraged me to break down barriers and take a shit in a man's house.
I mean, at least a fart, something to let them know you're human.
Let them know I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here and I have gas, okay?
I'm here, I'm queer, and you're going to smell it.
That's right. Bloop. Exactly.
Crazy.
So let's talk about the ending. Well, first
yeah,
it was crazy, but you both said something about that I just wanted to note too. At dinner, how Britt's phone was literally blowing up, and it was like her sister's trying to talk to her about how she feels like she's choosing like her husband over her. And she's like, well, listen, this is him right now. And how Britt responded to that, I was like, oh, you're terrible. Like, you're not a good person, because this is your sister. And you're going to be like, do you understand how lucky you are to be getting my time, because my phone is blowing up? And it's like, also, Mike, no, and this is, Brady, why I will double down on this, that Mike is red flags all day. He knew she was filming with her sister. What reason would he have to be blowing up her phone? What reason?
He wanted to know what she was saying, and he said it's time to come home. And let me tell you, my husband has never texted me he might ask like, hey, like the only time he's asking if when I'm coming home is, does he need to order dinner for me too?
That's right.
Like engage
That's
food.
a
That's
husband.
right.
Now that's a, ladies and gentlemen,
That's
that's a husband.
Exactly. He's not calling me like continuously to be like, you need to come home. Bitch, I'll come home when I come home.
No, he's saying, do you want ranch with your chicken tenders?
That's exactly what
Baby
he's
girl.
saying.
That's
so that
right.
is a huge red flag. I agree, Melissa. I agree.
You guys,
Yeah.
I might have misjudged Mike, and I will accept that I liked him for a few episodes, but maybe my opinion is going to change. Well, I also think,
but
my
listen,
opinion will change over time, too.
Brady, you might be right that maybe he is just an awkward fella. I don't see that, but listen, that's what we do on this podcast. We think of all the different ways to think about something. And so Britt, here's the thing. She started the episode, and I wrote this down because, again, my mind is just an encyclopedia Bravo. Britt said, females either love or hate me, which for me is always a huge red flag because there is one housewife in the history of the franchises who may have been one of the most toxic housewives who in the first episode of her franchise, she said the same exact thing. Do you remember who that housewife was? Now, this is a deep dive, so I don't expect you to know.
Can you tell us the franchise or no?
Will that give it away?
Or will
Jersey.
that give it away? Oh, see, I'm not a Jersey girl.
Oh.
No? Oh,
I need,
okay.
Caroline?
No. Oh, no. Danielle Staub.
I don't. It does seem like Caroline seems kind of pick me in a way where she's like, I don't hang out with women. I just talk to men. That's my Caroline impression. What the fuck?
Wowza.
I'm the reason you'll never get that season of Ultimate Girls Trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I called from the beginning. I was like, we're never seeing this girls trip.
We
never.
won't.
I'll be long dead before that comes out. But so Danielle Staub said the same thing. And I just recalled back to, she's like, women, they either love or they hate me. And it's like, well, I can see why they don't like you. And when women say that, they're usually the problem.
Yeah.
And so the episode ends with, now, we didn't hear this, right? This is just Kenya telling Portia that she heard Britt say something about a pistol, right?
Oh, no, she was talking about her guns in the parking lot.
Yeah, no, this is the confusing part that I want your guys' input on. Because
she was also using slang, too.
Yeah, so she said the whole thing was Kelly was saying, are you calling your husband to come, like, get you? And they were, like, talking about that. And Britt said, I mean, I still got my pistol. And then Britt was talking to her husband about Kenya and said, her little dipsy ass, play that shit in front of the camera. Don't play that with me. I don't play those games. I got whips and pistols. So she did say that. Where I'm confused, when she said play that shit in front of the camera, was there a period of time between the dinner and the parking lot?
Well, I think she just means in that moment because they were thinking they had cut for the day.
I don't, but we didn't. I just am confused by her saying play that shit in front of like Kenya said that to her. Well, we saw Kenya saying to Britt.
No, I don't think she's. I think she's saying you play that shit in front of the cameras. Let's play it in real life.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That's what I thought.
And she also, in that parking lot, as she's saying that, I rewatched it again. She is staring at Kenya, who is standing outside of Portia's car.
Well, and
she is making eye contact and saying that to Kenya.
And this is the issue. And Bravo, what are we doing? Because, and I don't know if it's a part of like production and money, but as soon as Britt said those words, it should have been suspended, investigate, and like that. I'm not saying Britt should have been fired. There should have been investigation. Talk to her about that. And then,
and I wonder.
Well, and it sucks because then the Kenya of it all happened, and I can't excuse Kenya's behavior because what she did was terrible. But it's like, I'm sorry, but like Britt, that should have been the first step.
Yeah, they made their mistake when they didn't take action on that because instead of them taking action, the correct action for a threat like with a gun in a workplace, even mentioning a gun in a workplace, I feel like is an issue. Sorry, I'm laughing. My dog just sneezed. I'm not laughing about guns in workworkplaces. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay.
Brady's dog is in here.
Yeah, sorry, my dog's next to me.
Okay. I love that.
I do wonder, and it makes me kind of feel sorry for Kenya because, like, no. Well, yeah. Because if they had taken appropriate action, would she have done this insane thing?
Well, if she still would have done it, then that's insane.
That is insane. And
it's still insane that she did it because obviously she didn't handle her anger appropriately.
Correct.
And that's what sucks is because it's like, Kenya, I can't, like, what you did is not okay. But also, Britt, you referencing a pistol twice, that should have been like, why did and so Bravo, like you said earlier, what is the line? And I think what's hard too is I don't know. The fan base is so involved, right? So when this event actually happened, the blogs, everyone was saying, this is what happened. This is what has been going down. So I don't know if they feel like they go by public opinion. Also, it's like money-wise, would it be a delay in it? What I also
probably save them a lot of money to fire Kenya, to be honest.
Well, what I have an issue with too is Miss Britt, you went on your Instagram and you said you never threatened anyone with a gun.
Right.
Oh.
And she was caught, lying. And so to your point, what I think is so interesting is that Kenya, one of the scenes that we saw before all of this was Kenya's ghost was talking to Kelly in the hair spa. And Kenya said that she blew her daughter's education for a spa. Now, so here's the thing though, right? Like, it's like, okay, you're trying to build something great for your daughter. But in my opinion, that's what makes what she did that much more concerning, because I feel that Britt was wrong first and Bravo for sure. I believe they failed to properly intervene. And that what happens is Kenya historically, in my opinion, when she feels her back is against a wall, she does anything she needs to do to take someone down, good, bad, ugly, illegal. She does not care. And in my opinion, Bravo's initial failure to not address this led her to act out of spite, which again, it's still not okay. She still should have been fired if that's what the HR policies say. But it feels very unbalanced with, well, then why the hell is Britt still there after threatening someone with a pistol? Make that make sense.
And even if Britt was like, I didn't mean it, okay, investigate it. It should have been a pause.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
But then to your point, maybe it's like a money thing with production where, they're already scrambling and like, what do we do? And how do we, people.
So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I was just going to say, like, they've already paid all these production people and assistants and checks have already been cut and things like that. And so I wonder if this was just like a cover their ass sort of move and they just didn't do it properly. I don't know.
Or they didn't know, maybe in their mind, they were going to edit all this out. And then the Kenya thing happened. And then Kenya went on her stories and tried to tell her side. And then Britt went on her stories and brought up the gun thing. So they're like, well, shit, now we have to show this because, things have been put out there. Because the thing with Bravo producers is, at least in my opinion, they want their people to be messy, but they don't want to, I feel like they protect them a lot because they don't want to show too much. I mean, there's been stuff about potentially stuff that Mary Cosby said last season that they didn't show. They protect their housewives a little bit. So I'm wondering if in their mind, there's no way in hell we're going to show all this. And then they had to. I don't know if they think that as well in the money. I don't know. But it just sucks because I feel like I shouldn't be doing all this thinking with the reality show.
Yeah,
I know.
This is what I was going to say. Like, I don't like what anyone is doing. I don't like threatening people with guns. I don't like printing out revenge porn and making a 16 by 18 and holding it up in public. I don't love that.
So crazy.
But
also, where did she get that done? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you take that to Staples?
I've tried. They have a content policy. They will not print certain things. Okay, I haven't tried to print revenge porn. And also, I'm joking. But I do know that there is a policy. I do know that there is a policy.
Wink, wink. Okay, but so we got to investigate. Who printed this? Like, did she go to Staples? I need to know, but please, Brady, continue.
I think she knows a bitch with a large format printer.
But
She said, "Hey, friend, we're going to put your cricket to work today."
and her friend was like, "Can you know?
Can you know?
Can you know?" And Kenya said, "Bet we're
She
gonna
said,
do
"I
it."
can only print this porn as a vinyl decal." Anyways, I kind of wish we lived in a place where she got to threaten her with guns, she got to show revenge porn, and we all still filmed a show. Is that crazy? Because
Kind of. Well,
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that because both are very like serious things. Like revenge porn is illegal.
so
And
then let them
threatening with a
sue
gun
each other,
also-
and then we get to watch
they
that.
can't.
Oh,
It's in their
well-
contract. They can't.
No, I feel like I just want it to be. I don't know.
No, I
don't
see.
know how to
I
say
see
what
what
I'm
you
saying.
mean.
I forgot to mention, I was going to say this before and then I got off on a tangent, but what I read was there were new HR policies
Yes.
that were put into place
Oh.
because of things that have happened in the past. Phaedra,
Mhm.
hello, maybe being one of them, that they
Right.
needed to have some protections. And so whatever Kenya did violated
that.
this HR policy. But then it's like, but how does threatening someone with a pistol on camera on a hot
Yeah.
mic not violate
'Cause
said policy?
If I did that when I worked in mental health, I would have gotten fired and possibly a charge. You know what I mean? Like that is something that you can't do in a like a 9-to-5 job. So
Yeah.
I don't know where the HR, and if this is a new thing for Bravo, maybe they're working on their policies, but you would think this would just be common sense.
Work harder, babies, because this is a wild scenario. Wild.
Yeah.
So
it does
listen,
confound me that wouldn't someone in the production have known Kenya's plan? Do you think?
Like ahead of time? I don't
I
know.
just find that
honestly,
hard to believe.
my
Or a
take-
cast member.
my take was that Kenya got so heated after this incident and her wheels were spinning. And the reason why I feel like I can tell is because Kenya will try to act super cool when she's really angry. And she
Yeah.
was
She was
trying to
acting
act
real
like
cool.
Britt wasn't bothering her. And then
She
she got in the
was.
car and I was like, oh boy, okay,
She
she
was in the
mad.
back seat of that Bentley, bitch.
Just like going on and on.
I
And
wish she
so-
would.
Yeah. And so I think for me, it was like, oh, you're going to threaten my life and put my life in danger. And then I think Kenya conflated like this to be like a real safety issue, which listen, maybe it was, but I think the move would have been to talk to production instead of take things into her own hands, because now I can't imagine what's happened to the hair spa, right? Now that she's had this, she's been fired and like you brought this shit to your opening day of business. Like, what is wrong with you? Also,
That is a really crazy part of it
Yeah,
too.
it-
Actually,
that-
it's like that's your business.
The coping
That's
mechanism
insane.
of her brain was not on that day. It's so hard because, and again, Kenya, had you not done that, a lot of the other cast members have come out and said they don't like Britt. I believe Britt said something really shitty about Shamia. I wish I remembered what she said, but Shamia talked about that in an interview. So like people aren't really vibing with Britt. So
yeah,
it's just
Britt
like,
Saxon needs to go, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
yeah,
she
so it's
really
like
do-
Kenya. Ugh.
Yeah. And I would
But
have rather
Bravo
had
dropped the
Kenya
ball.
than Britt, but whatever. Listen. So we've been chatting about this for a super long time. So I'm trying to be a good time manager and realize, okay, we have a half hour to talk about Teen Mom and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So
Let's do it.
let's
Lock
do
in.
it. Yeah. So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, my honest take on the season is that I've been saying it feels like a Traitors Housewives hybrid. It's just like people jockeying for Queen Bee position. It's like the Spider-Man meme where there's like 6 Spider-Mans pointing at each other. That's Beverly
Yes.
Hills. And Beverly Hills
Absolutely.
used to be one of my favorite franchises, but it just feels so disingenuous, so gross, so inauthentic. What have you all been feeling about it?
Well, I know with Beverly Hills, y'all, we're not gonna lie. Brady and I tried to watch it, and we turned out the
Mhm.
first after
Mhm.
half the season.
I think we got through. Well, I watched the reunion part 1 the other day. I got through 6 episodes.
Yeah, and we're like, we're
Mm.
not gonna force this. And the reunion just showed me that.
I
all-
love the reunion though.
The reunion was great, but all these
Yeah.
women, I don't trust any of y'all.
No.
I don't trust anything that you're saying. I just have Kyle. I have so many mixed emotions for you because I want to root for you in a sense because it does seem like your relationship with Morgan. Look, no one needs to come out necessarily. Obviously, like if you never have to, honestly. What I struggle with her is how she presents herself outside of the show.
Right.
Taking pictures with Morgan, doing that music video. You know what I mean? Like things like that. I'm like, okay,
fanning
Kyle.
flames and then saying, I don't know why this is smoking so much.
Why is everyone calling me a lesbian? I'm just eating pussy on YouTube. Have you seen the music video? It's actually crazy.
Like she.
I have.
It's
hot.
wild.
Listen, they're both attractive ladies, and
I'm all for it, and I'm also all for, like, you know, it's not even this thing of like, because on the show she kind of makes it seem like I feel like I'm being pressured to like talk about things. It's like, but then yet the way you act outside the show, I'm like, Kyle, you're losing me. And then the other thing I'll say lastly is the Garcelle of it all. I personally am one. I struggle when the housewives are like, well, you don't show everything, or you're boring, you don't show this. One, with people's like story, first of all, Bravo loves to give people one note. So they, with the edit, Garcelle might be trying to show different things. We don't know that.
That's true.
Also, if she's not dating anyone or fucking anybody, that's not, like, I'm sorry, but Miss Erica, which, like, look, Erica, she's entertaining and I laugh at her, but like, girl, what are you showing? You bought curtains this whole damn season?
Hey, be nice to my girl.
You love Erica. I don't.
Ew, Brady.
I know. Brady's toxic.
Okay, here.
Brady, intervention time. First Mike and now her? Come on. I'm sorry,
Mike.
just kidding.
Oh,
The
yeah,
husband,
Mike.
Brett.
You didn't even know his
You
name.
forgot.
That's how unimportant these people actually are to me. I forget about them as soon as they're not on my screen or in front of me, to be honest.
You're
So,
entertained by
that.
Erica. It doesn't mean you agree with everything that she does.
Well, yes.
Oh, no, I do.
Fair
I fully
enough.
support everything she does. No, I'm kidding. I'm
I was
fucking
like,
joking.
Brady, I will die right now.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was my favorite Housewives as well. And we're in a dark place. And
Very.
the only thing I learned from this reunion, I learned a couple things, actually. I learned two things. First is Kyle Richards has to go. She's a producer. She's doing too much. She's too in. She is too aware of how every single intricate detail of this works. And I'm saying that because in this reunion, she is behaving slightly differently than all the other reunions she's done.
I agree.
It felt like she was ready to talk about production. She was ready to break the fourth wall. She was ready to do those things, which I would support a breaking of the fourth wall for the Housewives franchise or certain franchises. She is just entirely too involved, and it affects her ability to be compelling as a housewife anymore, unfortunately.
I agree with that.
I don't care if she's a lesbian. I also think it's so stupid for her to be like, everyone's pressuring me. And it's like, your storyline on the show could be that you don't know. That's a great storyline.
Well, sure. But
like,
she's having a hard time just even saying, like, I feel, here's what I feel. I feel she's saying it in like a coded fashion.
Yeah.
It's like even the ending title for Kyle's part was like, Kyle is still open or something to love. And it's like, can we stop tiptoeing around a very important issue that, like, wouldn't it be so great to see someone on TV talking about what it is to have sexual fluidity or to
oh my gosh, yeah.
Like, do you know how many women are late in life lesbians?
Yeah.
For real.
The amount of people who would connect with that storyline
beyond
is astronomical. There are not a lot of lesbians on TV. I feel
there are not.
Such a strong way when I watch Southern Hospitality and I see people who are my age going through things that are gay, because we don't see that on Bravo.
Right.
And I think she could, like, I don't know, she could kind of be like the number one les. Like,
well, and also
she could be so, like, it could be so powerful for her to share whatever she's going through.
On Southern Hospitality, we have one person on there who came out to his whole family and the mom took it really badly. We have another girl on there who is gay, and she doesn't feel like she needs to come out, but you can also tell she's afraid to, because she's afraid it's going to change the dynamics. Yeah. And with Kyle, how powerful would it be to say, you know what, I never thought, I always thought I was going to be with Mauricio forever, right? Mm-hmm. And here I am, divorced, and I had what started as a friendship, and then an attraction. And I never thought this. I'm still processing this, and it's hard for me to say out loud because with Kyle and who her mom is, who Kathy is, I get it, girl. Like, Kathy can try to act like she'd be cool with it, but like, I'm sorry.
The DJ's an old fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
My favorite
when
quote
Kathy
from the whole show.
used a gay slur.
Yes.
And by the way,
because the DJ wouldn't play Michael Jackson.
It all comes back.
Which
Full circle.
Full circle moment, y'all. Full circle. Here we back are to hee hee. But I feel that Kyle definitely missed an opportunity. Oh, wait, this is what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought for a second. At the reunion, the part 2, we see a clip of Kathy telling Kyle that she would love to be a lesbian. And I was like, Kathy, I can't with you. First, you're Chinese. Now you'd love to be a lesbian.
I missed that episode.
That episode's wild.
You missed the storyline that she's, she comes from some sort of ancient Chinese dynasty. Yeah.
No. No. Kathy, shut up.
Yeah. This is Boz. I always call her Boz. It's Bose. I always say, I joke the Midwestern in me, like full Chicagoan comes out when I'm like, Boz. I love Boz.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, right?
She would actually love that about you, probably. Yeah. She would think that's funny.
A Baz, my girl Baz.
No, never mind.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so anyway, but your point, I think, is very valid in terms of like, a lot of people say that they would be really open-minded and supportive and non-judgmental. But as we all know, it doesn't always go down that way, which is disgusting because no one should ever lose any support for being gay, trans. Don't even get me started because I will literally flip. But I think your point is valid. Is just that fear took over what could have been a very interesting and authentic storyline. But Kyle knows too much about the biz, and she doesn't want to, stoke those fires. But back to your Erica thing, Brady. That is so funny to me because
what part?
Loving her. Because
obsessed. My favorite human in the world. This episode, let me tell you about Erica. She looked fucking gorgeous. Did she scam and imprison Marco wrongfully? Yes. Is that a problem? Absolutely. She looked so pretty though today.
She did look. Listen, Erica's
they actually
gorgeous.
all looked really good.
They all looked incredible.
Oh,
I'm
beyond.
So sorry.
No, the dresses were gorgeous. Erica is
actually no. Kyle looked like shit. I hated Kyle's dress. She didn't look like shit. That's so dramatic. I hated her dress. Kyle's dresses are so bad. Always.
Well, there's some housewives who their fashions usually struggle a little bit, and Kyle's kind of
Giselle Bryan.
One of those. Yeah. But Giselle looked great at this last reunion. Wait a second. This is the perfect opportunity to let people know about who reposted you all. Speaking of Giselle Bryan.
Oh my God, y'all.
We have to take a little time for you all to share the story.
So I was on TikTok, and y'all, if you're on TikTok, you know when someone tags you in a comment, it's usually some kind of scam. It's usually either someone that's like, get this iPhone, or it's some kind of like scam porno thing that's
join my OnlyFans.
Yeah, join my OnlyFans. And I saw that Recap Rodeo was tagged in something. And I was like, oh my God. I saw the profile picture and it was a very attractive woman. I was like, oh, great. Like, what is this? I clicked the video and what do I hear is my voice say, and you knew. And I was like, oh my God. And it's this woman lip syncing to it and then pops in. Oh my God. Why did I just, Mia. Wait.
Mia.
Oh my God. I just blocked her name. I'm so sorry, Mia.
Pretty forgettable.
Mia from Potomac is lip syncing to a clip that we made. Which we're talking shit. Like
super talking shit. Like Brady is losing his mind. He's going, Lyndsay. Because
it's crazy. She tried to have a paternity storyline when she did IVF.
Yeah, that came out of the reading. So that's the part that they lip sync to, which is funny because when it cuts, literally after that, if you listen to the full clip, I go, she gotta go. So we were like, oh my God. So it does something to your brain when you're like, oh my God, like a housewife is like lip syncing to our
It
video.
was weird.
And look, guys, I'm not the type of creator, and I know Melissa, you're the same as well. I don't tag
Oh,
people
no, I hate that.
in my posts. If people tag them in the comments, I usually delete them unless it's
Same.
something like
Nice.
positive that I'm like, you know what, they deserve to see that. But most of the time I delete it and I don't tag them on my stories. But you learn, y'all, people, is people send things to them and other things like that. And so I just was not expecting that. So motherfucking Mia, of course it's Mia.
Of course. It couldn't have been someone we like. It couldn't have been
Right.
who do we like?
Well, you love Erica.
Erica.
Oh,
Shamia.
Well,
do you know it's $70 for Denise
that's the
Richards
other thing.
OnlyFans?
Garcelle, you're not very interesting. And it's like, what
I
are you
don't know, do
decorated your
something
rental,
interesting.
Erica? What has Erica done? Her storyline
She
was
has the same
decorating her
coffee
rental.
table that they have at the reunion.
Also, yeah,
That
I was
is
like, who gives a
impressive.
shit?
That's what she did this
No.
season. She
But
picked a
anyway, back to, but is it not like the best and worst feeling when you know that these people who we're talking about knows about you? It's like,
I don't like
it's
it.
like excitement and terror all at the same time.
No, it is. And me and Brady aren't trying to be out here trying to be involved in the, you know what I mean? We're just here to have a kiki and laugh and make fun of these people.
Yeah.
But also have compassion for them and empathy. But I was not expecting that for sure. And it was very awkward. But honestly, it was, looked like Mia was able to laugh at it and have fun. And I will continue to call out, girl, that was crazy. You had IVF and your whole storyline was not telling or trying to gaslight your children and also act like you didn't know who the dad was when you knew the whole damn time. I'm going to call that out. That's fucking crazy, girl.
I'm not a person who like, I don't publicly like comment on things. I'm not like posting my own opinions about like this stuff usually because like it really is just like my like downtime passion to watch Bravo.
Right.
So the fact that like it's like the fact that they hear us say anything is wild, and I just pray that like they take it in jest. I hope that they can laugh.
I think she did.
Well,
because we're laughing too.
I can tell you that I know some don't take it in jest, even a little bit.
That's true.
And I am somewhere on a couple of housewives like walls. I'm like, my picture is there with like a dartboard, and
I want names so bad.
I'll tell you after.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
because this stuff, it does go around, and people, will send it because they think, oh, this person should see it, and then you find out, and you're like, oh no.
I think that's the thing that's weird is because like my intention. I don't like when people comment negatively on a person's like actual Instagram, right? Like I think I don't love when you like comment on Lala's Instagram about something she did. I find that I don't like that behavior, especially when it's like really negative or mean or like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the idea that they could see it, like I don't want anyone to ever hear what I say about them.
Well, and if I'm on my page and if you come to my page and it's about my opinion, or if it's on my podcast, like that's a safe place for me.
Right.
And if you listen to that, like that's not like my intention, you know what I mean? It's not like, it's not for you. If you reach, you know what I mean? If you reach out for it.
Right. Because the fact of the matter is that people love to put us on a pedestal, especially me, because I have the title of a therapist. And so it's like, if someone agrees with us, we're the smartest people ever. If someone doesn't agree, the other day, someone on my Instagram told me that I was the dumbest person because
that's just like factually incorrect.
Literally. What?
But it was because I didn't agree with her. And so I just laugh because I don't take the stuff personally anymore. And I block liberally because I'm like, you're not going to come to my home and call me stupid. No, ma'am. No, you're not.
You know how I know you have a really good relationship with like that kind of thing is I was listening to Eminem Hour, which shout out Eminem Hour, my favorite shit ever. You and Mandy were talking about something. What were you guys like had a difference of opinion, and you both just like were able to both talk about your opinions and then like just go from there, and it was like so awesome. But it was something that like if it wasn't really two intelligent people talking about it, it would have devolved into like fighting.
Well, and what happened to that is, like Brady, me and Melissa are giving him shit because Erica. He loves Erica.
Love Erica.
But we're able to do it in a funny way. And also, look, people like who they like. We don't know these people. There's a difference between being entertained by them and agreeing with like every behavior that they did. You know, it's like a mixture of things. And that's where I sometimes think that gets lost in the comments. And I know what you're talking about, Melissa, because it is, I see with your posts sometimes when people agree with you, they're like, yes, yes, yes. But for some reason, I noticed with Sutton in particular, anytime, like people really come for you with your takes on Sutton.
For me on Sutton, and I was like, I'm going to keep my foot on her neck, and no one can stop me.
And
no one is going to stop me. And if you don't like it, then go to someone else's page.
Yeah, but maybe take your foot off her neck because she really does strike me as someone with brittle bones.
Well, she had esophagus problems.
She gives brittle bones to me, and I know that is that terrible? I don't know.
Not the esophagus. You're right. You're right. I should lift up on Sutton.
Oh my God, the esophagus. Not the foot off. I just remembered that the neck and the esophagus are in the same area of the body, listeners. I'm so sorry.
Oh, so you're the dumb one.
I am a dumb bitch. I never claimed I wasn't.
No, you are not. No, you both have such interesting views, but I think what I love most about you and your podcast is that we do have a similar creative process where we'll be funny, we'll be shady, but ultimately you're both understanding we don't know these people and like, you know, you're kind and compassionate. And so I think that's missing from this space sometimes because then Bravo fans listen and they're like, oh, well, great. Let me terrorize Erica. And it's like, no, I just think she's super rude. Don't terrorize someone because I don't like them.
That's the thing. It's the like, like we don't need to take it past like us just having sassy little opinions.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't need to go past that.
We know who we are, right? Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I do want to save some time to talk about Teen Mom, but was there anything with Reunion Part 1 that we haven't talked about that really stood out to either one of you?
This reunion, one thing rings true, and it's one of the most disappointing things, and it's like Garcelle is really trying to like speak the truth that she saw, and it seems like everyone hates that. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of feel bad for her in a way, because it's like,
so do I.
She does have Sutton, but Sutton is sitting there. Sutton is sitting on that couch getting ripped in two parts by each force next to her.
Yeah,
literally.
If that makes sense. Like, and that's why I'm so sick of the like. You had this conversation with us before about Morgan, like that whole thing that they were talking about. That's what kind of cemented that feeling of Kyle needs to go, because it's just too inside, too producery. It's too much. And I feel bad for Garcelle. And I really love Garcelle as a housewife. Is she the most interesting? No. But is she talented?
She's real.
Absolutely. Is
She's
she
authentic.
Successful?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is she a fucking icon? Hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, regardless of if her storylines are that exciting, I want her in these group settings because I like the thoughts that she has. I do like hearing her opinions, not necessarily that I agree with them, but I like that she's there to have the conversation, and I think I'm going to miss her next season. I really will.
I will too, because I think what you're saying, and which I agree with, is without Garcelle's very real voice, it just becomes an echo chamber of Fox 5 bullshit. And nobody wants that.
No.
So, but Lyndsay, any last thoughts on Beverly Hills Reunion?
With these women, something's got to change with Beverly Hills because it's not feeling authentic. I really enjoy Bose though. I really, really like her. Another one that's I feel like been open about her life. But with Garcelle, it's like, okay, Erica, she was like, we want to know who you're dating. Is that the only thing about Garcelle? We fucking see her like reaching out and like producing movies and like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, that's fucking interesting. I don't care who the fuck she's fucking. Like, why?
Also, who is Erica having sex with? Who is Erica?
Right.
Guess
Armie
what?
Hammer?
Is she?
Probably.
No, in the past.
Oh, I didn't know.
Your girl hasn't shared shit about shit. And
that actually is so true. She really hasn't shared anything.
That is what I'm
it's
saying.
Like, how dare? How dare.
So you're just trying to put, we're acting like she's boring, but and I love when Garcelle said, like, sorry, my divorce happened before I was on the show. My bad. Let me go do it again. What? But guess what? No, she's still been open about that because, like, we've seen, flashbacks and headlines when she like
told
emailed.
the story.
Mhm.
Oh, that story is so good.
And so it's like, Erica, I don't know what more you want. And obviously, Garcelle was very taken aback by that because she was like, Erica, I thought we were good. Clearly, we're not.
Garcelle was really caught off guard. And I think that might be something Erica kind of does. She does choose when to flip on someone. And when she does, it's shocking because she is so cold that it's like, ugh.
And from what I know
so
about this,
aggressive the way she does it.
The way she can say, well, what are you doing? And she's giving us no energy, but it sounds like she said, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it is so intense, and she's not giving us any energy, but it really feels so intense.
I did love when Erica said, no, I just wish you were more interesting. Bose goes, oh, damn.
Yeah, Bose was good at that moment. I do love.
Everyone's face in that moment was like, oh my God, you bitch.
But Bose is all of us when she'll do that. She'll like, it's so funny to see this newbie like observing all of these insane dynamics that don't make any sense. Like, she has never seen anything like this in the business world. Never in her life. It shows you how sick housewives dynamics really are, because this woman is a bona fide leader. And she is still like, what in the holy hell is going on here?
And lastly, I will say is talk about the foreshadowing of it all when Garcelle at the beginning said, maybe this year we'll finally get a cast photo. And y'all, spoiler alert, they don't
come back.
They don't, because she quit.
Because she quit.
That was the first note that I wrote down. And I was like, oh, the foreshadowing of the... And you could tell, you're right, Garcelle, I feel like she faced a firing squad. But unexpectedly, we're like, wait, what season did we watch that she's...
You even saw her in the moment being like, wait, what the...
Yeah, what? Me?
People are coming... Well, and I'm going to stick up for Garcelle because people love to do this with housewives. And look, there are times where a housewife is fired and they are able to give the statement like, I'm choosing to leave. Mm-hmm. I 100% think Garcelle, she quit. I fully think she would have been asked back. Mm-hmm. I think so. I've already seen this narrative of she was already going to go. No. I think in that moment, she was like, you know what? I'm done. And I'm that kind of person. When I'm finally done with something, it's just a click and I go, and I'm done.
And that I respond to so much because that's literally who I am. Like, I will take an enormous amount of bullshit, but if you push me 1 inch too far, I will be done so fast it'll make your head spin. And I think that Garcelle, the moment to me where she decided to quit, I thought, was when she gave Sutton one last opportunity to be honest with Kyle. She said, we've talked privately about this. We've talked on camera about this. Are you going to have my back or are you not? Sutton did not have her back. And I think in that moment, she was just like, what am I doing here? Why?
And then they broke for lunch and they go back to Garcelle's room and Sutton comes in and goes, do you know how hard it is going to be for me now?
Oh, yeah.
Sutton said that to Garcelle.
I know.
As if Garcelle just hasn't been getting chewed out for hours.
But, and see, this is why I come for Sutton, and people will never let me have it. She is one of the most selfish people I have ever encountered in all of my life, and I just have no tolerance for that.
And you're watching a show with Erica.
Exactly. So if Sutton's like selfishness comes out, like Brady, honestly, that's a wild point that is super important that you just said. That is wild. Okay, my friends. So before ending, let's talk a little bit about Teen Mom. So I want to say something really interesting about Teen Mom. I'm going to reveal something that I've told Lyndsay and Brady, but so Tyler from Teen Mom, Baltiera, reached out to me, DM'd me, and said that he thinks I'm great and would love to have me on their podcast. And don't tell anyone, we're starting a podcast. And so I kept my big mouth shut. And then we see last episode, their podcast is up and running and they have all these people on their podcast. And I'm like, where's my call? So It was an honor to be asked. If it happens, wouldn't that be amazing? But, I I've watched Tyler for a long time, and I understand that sometimes he's a little impulsive.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't think before he says things, in the sweetest way, like a little puppy almost,
Yeah. I think he probably got excited about the podcast and was like, I'll just start emailing people I like. And then they were like, we have a whole team to reach out to people.
Can I have a thirsty moment real quick?
Wait, hold on.
That neck of Tyler's does something to me.
Oh, let me piggyback off of that.
That neck.
I haven't tuned into Teen Mom for a very long time. And since I've tuned into Teen Mom, Tyler Baltiera has started an OnlyFans.
Yes. Which Kate runs, by the way.
Oh, what? You don't
Kate
need to tell
runs
me anything about this OnlyFans. I
Brady
am very familiar.
Oh, Brady's familiar. Okay, great.
I don't know how I can watch Teen Mom anymore because Tyler makes me too horny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
But then he speaks, and
All
I
I
kind
can
of lose
think about is the stuff. And y'all, if you haven't, never mind. I'm not going to tell you to Google it, but Google it because it's why there's 16 babies in that house, girl. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then he speaks, and my horniness for him does go away.
Oh yeah, he only does photos on the OnlyFans, so you don't have to hear him.
God bless, because him
Is
and
it
Caitlin.
I'm sorry, just photos, no video?
There's a few videos. They're just they're not great though.
Okay, all
But
right.
he stopped doing them,
He
right?
did, yeah. They thought that maybe stopping the OnlyFans would get them to get in contact with Carly again, but that's not the case.
Oh, man. I have so many complicated feelings when it comes to them because I think they were obviously so young when they made that really hard decision.
Mhm.
And honestly, in that moment, they had no idea, y'all, that their lives were going to get MTV money.
The guilt has to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. And their
It has to
parents,
be crushing.
Yeah.
they come from toxic homes. And I honestly think, and they are so stunted in their 16-year-old mind. And what bothers me is they really have this mindset of Carly's just going to go live with, Teresa and Brandon for a little bit. And then, then we'll get her back.
Right.
And that's not how it is. I just think and look, I think on either end, I think there's been miscommunication and a lot. And so I feel for them sometimes. And then sometimes they say things and I'm like, oh, I cannot defend that with y'all. I just, I feel really complicated when it comes to them because their story is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But they don't handle it well.
And so Brady, I know you haven't watched lately, but you both watched since the beginning, right? So
yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like 16 and pregnant.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was watching that shit. I was watching the reruns.
Yeah.
Hell
We're
yes.
very much those girls.
Right. That's what I thought. And so one thing I do hear what you're saying, and I agree that it's so complex, but I almost feel like what I've witnessed is these two kids who when they gave up Carly for adoption, they were literal fetuses. I mean, they were so young.
Babies.
And you see these people like Caitlin and Tyler saying, I need this from you. And then you see these two parents sitting across from them who are desperate for that child, just agreeing.
Yeah.
And I
that's
can't
a good point.
help but feel they told them what they wanted to hear initially.
That's a good point.
When things started to get a little too real, I think Brandon and Teresa went back on some of those promises that they made. And we're not talking about promises about a package. We're talking about promises about a human being who, by the way, the adoptive mom leaked a picture of Carly.
Yes, she did.
After promising Kate and Tyler for years to not have her on TV. That Brady's your face is stunned.
Well, did she just post the photo on social media and then someone else then it got leaked that way?
How did it get leaked?
You're right. I think that the adoptive mom posted the video and then someone took it and then leaked it.
From my understanding, it was on Carly's school that photo came from.
Okay, well, fuck
Oh.
schools putting kids on social media.
yeah,
That's
and- yeah,
absolutely
that's
unacceptable.
crazy.
And someone
I don't know why
got
anyone
it.
does that.
And this is all
That's
alleged. I don't
crazy.
know that this is just what
Mhm.
people are saying. And then it went around, and y'all, God, she looks so much
She
like
looks
them.
just like
Oh,
them.
Just like the
Oh.
oldest daughter
Oh my
that they have
God.
at home. It was
identical to the oldest daughter, like identical. And I feel that that's the part that a lot of us are missing, that visceral image
Yeah.
of this girl who is loved so much by this family, but just due to
Yeah.
unfortunate circumstances, they try to do the best thing for her. So I have a lot more to say about it. I would love to. Well, first of all, you're all going to come back because this can't be the
Absolutely.
last
Yeah.
time we're doing
Wait,
this.
can
number
I
one.
say?
Yes?
I have to call out one thing about Teen
Yes.
Mom. Macy Bookout, I love you. I love you with
Do you know
all
who
my
follows
being.
me on Facebook?
Does Macy?
I mean, Facebook,
Oh.
Instagram.
Oh my God.
I was about to say Macy. Actually,
Macy.
being on Facebook tracks so hard
But
for me.
I have to say one thing
Who's
about
on
her.
Instagram?
Macy, I love you. I defend you a lot. Girl, not you starting a podcast, a true crime podcast, and calling it expired. That is diabolical.
Okay, but
That is not okay. And like, I am a true crime person, and I think there's a way to do it. Where's the taste?
but do they
Because there
focus-
is none with that
I
title.
figured out a way for it to make better sense is if they only do cold cases. Because like expired, cold case.
There's no,
No,
there's
you
no.
think that they
If
just,
you're
that's
doing a
death joke?
tree, it's almost like if you name a podcast like who died, who got killed, like one of those like what, who did that?
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Dead Bitch. Today's dead bitch is Lauren Spearer. Sorry, I just tried to think of a dead bitch. That's crazy.
Yeah,
to
no,
name drop Lauren
literally.
Spearer, but
No, that's like what her podcast.
expired.
That's insane, y'all. So my take with that is, y'all, anyone can start a podcast. Just really think about the title and
The
your
name.
concept, because that didn't hit. That really
No,
turned
I
me
think
off.
it kind of. Oh, it turned you off, actually.
Yeah, I think that's a
Oh.
really.
You feel
Like,
it's insensitive.
I feel
It
it's so
is.
insensitive to have a true crime podcast where you talk about true crime and it's called Expired. Yeah, I do.
don't know. Listen, sometimes
Stay tuned to my new podcast, Expired.
I understand why that's in poor taste, and sometimes bad things are good. Like Erica Jane, I also do like expired being the name of the true crime.
I can't
It
relate.
is very funny to me.
Can't relate, y'all. But that's my ending note on Teen Mom, y'all. But we
Well-
definitely have to come back and talk more, because I could talk about Teen Mom all day.
I mean, and Kale came back, and now Kale has 7 kids. I was like,
My
7?
God.
Not 7. 7?
And
Well,
she finally
apparently-
got the girl with the boy, because twins.
Yeah, she was like, of course, I finally got the girl, but I got a boy with it. And I'm like, you are crazy. No wonder she's running this podcast company. The girl needs money to
Yeah.
feed 7
She has-
mouths.
she has
Holy
3.
shit.
She herself has 3 podcasts.
She has 3
has-
podcasts?
Mhm. She
Yeah,
has 3
and to add
podcasts.
insult to injury, not because here's the thing: I like Kale, I like all the Teen Mom people. I respect them all very much, and I think, well, not so much Amber. I have to be honest about
I
that.
was like,
I think
wait, there's got to be 1 or 2 that you don't
I
fuck
have
with.
no respect for Amber.
Amber, after seeing what happened with Leah, and seeing how destroyed Leah is over it, I can't. That's just such. It's just such
her
bullshit.
getting that physical reaction when they brought in that gift. 'Cause-
Yes.
And guys, y'all, I have literally I've been in Leah's shoe before. I don't have a relationship with my biological dad, and I've had a moment like that where I was in the 1st grade and my dad was not supposed to be allowed in the school. He brought me a birthday gift, and I physically had a react. Oh, my mom almost burnt down that school because she was like, he is not supposed to be I love my mom for that. She was about to go ham on that school. So I understand, Leah, that physical reaction
Yeah.
of getting that. And she even said, I don't want this. And she didn't mean the gift. She was like, this is not what I need from her. And I was like, oh,
Right.
Leah.
On
So
that,
I
sad.
know.
watching Christina, I just have to say,
Ugh.
as someone who doesn't have kids, doesn't like kids, and thinks that being a parent seems awful for me. Love that you guys anyone's doing it. Who out there, if you have kids, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry that you enjoy child-free life.
Chaperone on the podcast. Did you guys hear about Chaperone being like, all my friends with kids are missing? And everyone's mad at her, but then some people are like, we know exactly what she means.
Yes. And you know what? They cut out also what she said. She said, and but they love that. Like, they obviously chose to be a parent. Yeah.
Oh my God, what was I even saying?
Christina or
Watching Christina be the human being that she is.
God bless.
Is a gift to us that we get to witness someone be this fucking kind.
My God.
To
literally, yes.
Hear that child's needs and to almost find every way you can show up that is
literally,
like, she finds the ways to show up that are the most meaningful.
Yep.
And I cried. I cried watching her give her the promise ring.
Oh my
God. At first I was like,
God.
okay, kind of cringe, but like promise ring, cringe. But
no,
this
so
is
lovely.
so beautiful to say, like,
she's like, this is my heart.
I hear you. I hear your fears. I hear that you are scared that I will be gone. And Christina.
Gary and Christina are earth
person.
Angels. They're just both so wonderful,
they are.
And have raised such amazing children. And Leah is so lucky to have Christina, because I think, like, with the gift thing, though, what was so interesting to me is that Lyndsay, I appreciate you sharing your experience with that, and that makes me so sad. But I'm glad your mom was there to, like, advocate for you. But for me, it was like, could you explain that you know your daughter any less than giving her these shitty ass gifts?
No,
like,
first of all,
I could give a better gift to my mail person. I know my mailman better.
A glass rose? What are we doing?
I was like, this is a stupid white blanket that you could get anywhere. Yeah, off of Temu. Yeah. And it's like, Amber does not understand at all her behaviors, and she just has, like, no awareness. Absolutely.
Well, and because giving that gift wasn't for Leah, it was for Amber to say,
look good.
Well, I think you would give.
Exactly.
Well, and you know what? Two things. One, Christina, also, I love her because, look, I talked about this before when you were on our Recap Rodeo. I get mixed feelings about children on the TV. However, what I see is Gary and her respecting her privacy, because did you notice when Christina asked, like, did Leah talk to you about therapy? And she said, yeah, or Christina was like, she was texting me about it and she didn't read those text messages. And I said, yes, honey. Mm-hmm. She did not disclose what she talked about in therapy. And I said, oh, that is so, because the wrong person with that could have done that. Amber definitely would have. And so I just respect that so much. Amber, I will have no respect for, because on TikTok Live a few weeks ago, she was talking about how, well, Leah's never had trauma. I'm the one that's had trauma. And if that is not a certain type of mother, I don't, us Hoosiers do not claim her. That is some shit. And y'all, did you also notice when she was FaceTiming her brother, she got pissed when he said he talked to Leah? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought she was about to go off.
But listen, she's getting her karma. Did you see her hair and makeup on that porch?
It was bad.
So,
and you're saying that, and you don't notice her. Lyndsay noticed. Thank you. What the fuck was the bang? Like, what was the bang doing?
Beautiful hair. Why are you sporting a comb over?
Calm down.
Zero compliments for Amber on this.
Okay.
You know,
no, and her brother was also telling her what she didn't want to hear. Her brother was also saying, here's how you should behave, and it's going in the opposite logic of everything Amber thinks, and she doesn't want to hear that.
Because Amber's the only one. Everyone's done everything to her. She's the only one that's ever experienced anything bad. She has all the trauma. She is the definition of, instead of like people, she has not worked through her shit, and she has become that person. Yeah. And that's really sad, because honestly, a lot of changes could have been had. But I don't see that for her, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't see it either, which is, like, so sad for Leah. But so let's get, to wrap up a little bit, because I'm sorry for keeping you all a little longer than scheduled, but we've been having such a kiki.
I'm having a fucking ball.
So the one great thing that you all do on Recap Rodeo is at the end of the episode, you name a bestie and a frenemy. So, and I just think that's so fun and lovely. So whoever would like to go first, who's your bestie and who's your frenemy?
Do you want to go first?
From
I'll go first.
anything we talked about today.
My bestie this week is going to be Garcelle Bouvet.
Oh, yeah.
Babe, you're going out, and it might seem like you're going out on a negative note, leaving the reunion halfway through, but I think you finally woke up and realized that this whole thing is bullshit. And I'm proud of you for putting yourself first. You go produce those mediocre Lifetime movies. You do that. You go star in that Activia commercial. You do those things, Garcelle. You don't need housewives. You're a star, baby.
Oh, love that take, Brady.
Bestie.
Mic drop.
Love
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for calling your Lifetime movies mediocre, but
hey, Lifetime movie. The thing about
black girls are gonna go missing.
that was so joke, funny.
That joke in Beverly Hills
was the best.
Who said it?
Sutton, I think.
Sutton.
Yeah. You know what? The thing
you're not a very good mother.
The thing about a Lifetime movie is if you turn on that channel, you're gonna get sucked in for a few hours.
Oh, at least.
Like my favorite, there's a series called 17 Gone Missing. 17 did this. I'm like, my God, what happened with all these girls at 17? Like they love to do that.
They just repeat the same idea over and over.
They do. My bestie is, of course, Shamia. I'm really excited for her this season. I think as long as she, keeps being open about stuff. And also, like you guys said earlier, obviously her lifestyle. I mean, the bitch has an elevator in her house. Oh. But I also I don't get that from her because she is also still relatable.
Yeah.
So she's got bestie energy, y'all.
That's so true.
Melissa,
agree. Who's your bestie?
Thank you, Brady, for asking. So I was going to go with Shamia, but honestly, I think I'm going to go with Christina from Teen Mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Honestly,
yes.
I don't know if I could do what I really don't think that I'm the type of person who could provide what Christina provides. It's so impressive.
Well, I mean, to your point, how many of us have parents who couldn't do at all their job? Like, hello, right? And so we're all raising our hands. And so to have a parent who is not bound by blood, but chooses to deeply love and support, Christina is a rock star for that. And I think Gary too, because he's a wonderful dad. He chose Christina. I think they're great together. So I'd have to say she's my bestie. All right. And who is going to be the frenemy? Who is it?
Go.
My frenemy is going to be sorry if you could edit out that pregnant pause. My frenemy is going to be it's gonna be Britt because you're just too much. Yeah. Don't shoot me. Don't tell me how to act. No, we're not doing this in the parking lot, Britt. You're my friend.
Restaurant. I was like, you're in the parking lot of a restaurant.
I want to talk to an Atlanta native because whatever neighborhood, I think they were in Bicken.
Oh,
Buckhead. Which I know is also wait, what?
Wasn't it?
Buckhead?
No. Yeah.
Is it Bicken Head?
Well, it does Emily. She's from Atlanta.
Because there is a Cardi B song called Bicken Head.
Oh,
listen, I'm
sure I'm wrong, but either way, you're right. They did say something about the area was a little sketchy.
But the place they were in seemed like a fully themed Disney thing. It looked like they were in a different world. Anyways, Britt, you're my frenemy because we'll have dinner and then in the parking lot you'll threaten to shoot me.
Yeah. Do you agree, Lyndsay? And listen,
no, I definitely agree with that. I will say my frenemy though this episode is Erica because I'm pretty sure her and Garcelle didn't have beef and they thought they were fine. But bet someone then tell me, I don't know, I just wish you'd more interesting. Oh, Garcelle, it's funny is I'm not really someone, I don't think someone thinks the way I talk or people, the way they see me, sometimes I'm like, these housewives are better than me because the way that I would have leaped across that stage, I'm sorry, there's certain things that trigger me.
The way
the way that I'm if I think we're cool and then you just throw something out like that, I would be like, excuse me.
The way I turn around and be like, you haven't been interesting since your husband was a criminal.
Yes.
What?
Literally.
Oh, yeah. I'm a dagger with my words.
Oh, you would dagger those bitches down.
Well,
she can say a cutting
I can
thing.
verbally eviscerate people. I can.
Same,
Just
girl.
because I choose not to.
Maybe we should have a reunion where we all fight with each other.
Oh my gosh, I'm busy.
No, because the thing is, like, I could never compromise my morals to yell at someone I care about. Like, I could not do that. You two are my friends. You're too sweet.
But what if we just called a truce for a few minutes?
TBD. We'll see. But I have to go. I think, honestly, your frenemies were both my choice. So I'm going to choose Erica and I'm going to choose Britt. Because why was no one on that stage smart enough to look at Erica and say, bitch, your storyline was decorating a rental. Who are you
the
sleeping
whole
with?
season. Right.
What are you doing? What's going on in your life?
Dick, Erica. Whose is it?
Whose is it? Is it threesomes? Is it two? I want to know. So you're not interesting either.
Parties.
Oh, of course. Listen, Mazel, right?
Oh, girl, if I was like Erica Jane, my pussy would be spread across the United States, motherfucker. Oh, it'd be worn out, tired. I'd be dragging her behind me.
And on that note...
And that's us, y'all. That's us.
And listen,
Brady.
This has been a very good excerpt of what you can expect from Recap Rodeo. So in all sincerity, please tell everybody, where can they go to find you?
You guys can find me and Lyndsay on Recap Rodeo every Tuesday. Brought anywhere you find podcasts. And also on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Every Tuesday. And with Melissa talked a little bit about our dynamic, but the kind of the flow of our show is we kind of do a check-in with each other. We talk about our lives, me and Brady.
I found a gun at work. If you're interested in that, I tell that story this week.
Yeah, that was wild. Also, Brady's now in therapy, which, and I'm in therapy too. So we're all
I got a psychiatrist and a therapist in the same week. Come listen to Recap Rodeo for a mental health journey.
Exactly. I'm in therapy. I'm going to start EMDR therapy.
Ooh.
And so, we are going through it. We talk about that. We talk about pop culture news. And then we also talk about the shows that we're watching. So it's very fun over there. And like Brady said, check us wherever you listen to your podcast. Recap Rodeo, also on Instagram. And Melissa, seriously, thank you so much for having us on. We love you so much.
Thank you, Melissa.
The feeling is super mutual because I love you both right back. I know my listeners are going to love you too. And please, everyone listening, go and check them out. Check out Vanderpod Recaps because Lyndsay, you're still posting, with all of the crazy podcasts that are out in this, Vanderpump Offshoot Valley craziness. You're still covering that. And so, by the way, when the Valley comes back, we're definitely going to have to do another episode, the three of us together, because...
Well, and Melissa, I will watch an episode for you because I'm actually I'm going to pause a little bit with this season because Mr. Jax Taylor is just, he's triggering me a little bit with his behavior. So,
yeah. Then no, I would never ask you to compromise that. No, don't you, Lyndsay, if you watch one fucking episode, I'm going to hurt you. How about that? Okay. Sorry. Do not compromise your mental health for that terrible jackass. No.
Oh my God, that's so
I'll
funny.
cover it and then you can listen and laugh. Okay. How about that?
Perfect.
But we're going to find something else for you to come on. And this has just been a blast. I hope you all have enjoyed. Please check out. So this is going to drop. The free podcast drops on Tuesday, but I started a Patreon and I drop ad-free, complete video. So if you want to see the video of the three of us, completely uncensored, unedited, and
any clothes.
Yep, check that out on YouTube and on my Patreon. And thank you all. And I hope you've enjoyed this very supersized, very sassy, amazing episode. So for today, I'm going to send you and yours love, and we're going to say ta-ta for now. Disclaimer. Posts are not intended to diagnose, treat, or provide medical advice. Your Bish Therapist is for entertainment and informational purposes only. The podcast, my opinions, and posts are my own and not associated with past or present employers, any organizations, Bravo TV, Greatheart Productions, or any other television network. The information in YBT podcast and on its social media is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose or treat. Please do not act or refrain from acting based on anything you read, see, hear, on YBT Podcast or associated social media. Communicating with YBT via email and or social media does not form a therapeutic alliance. Melissa, operator of YBT, is unable to provide any therapeutic advice, treatment, or feedback.